Well, welcome back. I'm Kevin O'Keefe. At issue today, students teach other students to take smart risks. At 13, Krystle Shewchuk was coming home from a weekend at a lake. The woman driving the car forgot to signal. The driver behind her was on his cell phone, and Krystle wasn't wearing her seatbelt properly. It's a moment that would change her life forever. Take a look.
When me and my friend Kimberly wanted to go up to the lake for the weekend, so her mom Connie and her brother Sean came along with us. On the way back, Connie forgot to signal, and the guy coming from behind us was talking on his cell phone. So he hit us on the right side of the car, spinning us into the oncoming lane, where a blazer hit us twice. And we ended up spinning about half a mile before the car came to a stop. And to make it worse, it happened right in front of my house, and my mom and my brother came out of the house, and at the time they had no idea I was in that car. So on the way up to the lake, I had the lap belt going around my lap, and I had the chest part going around my back, so I was not wearing it proper. And I'm guessing on the way back from the lake that I was wearing the seat belt just around my waist when we got hit. Once the police arrived in the ambulance, they loaded me in one, and they loaded Kimberly and Sean in the other. Then one of the officers came up to my mom and asked, I think that's your daughter that's in that car. And my mom actually had to fight with the ambulance driver to get them to let her go with me in the ambulance. And the only reason why they let her come with is because they didn't think I was going to make it. I lost a lot of blood, and my heart stopped beating. I broke 14 bones in total. I broke my left leg in 3 places. I broke my right leg in 2. I broke my pelvis in 4 places. I shattered my wrist in 2 places. I broke my finger. I shattered the whole front of my jaw. And my spleen ripped in half, which caused the internal bleeding. I also broke L1, L2 in my back, so I had no feeling from the belly button down. When I first woke up, I was quite shocked. I didn't know what was going on. And it was a week before they even told me I was paralyzed. And I was so young at the time, too, that I didn't fully understand what that meant. I was 13 years old. When I was in the hospital, I was the only one on that ward. The rest were all stroke patients. So I had nobody that I was able to relate to. I was pretty much on my own when I was in there, which made it a lot harder because, I didn't know if there's anybody else that went through the same thing I went through because I was so young. Sorry. Okay, I'm good. When I was in rehab, it was very tough. I had to learn how to use the bathroom all over again, be able to get dressed all over again. There was days I just cried in rehab. I was in so much pain. All my friends completely changed. None of them came to see me in the hospital. And when I came back to school, they didn't talk to me. I was the only one in that wheelchair. So I had to make my friends all over again. But I'm really lucky with the ones that I do have. They're extremely supportive and helpful. For me, right now, one of the hardest things is trying to get a job, clothing stores, restaurants, wherever you could think of applying. I have tried applying, and I wasn't given that opportunity to be able to work there. If the driver would have signaled, and I was not on his cell phone, and I had my seatbelt on right, maybe none of this would have happened. We would have been home perfectly safe. All we had to do was turn that corner.
And joining me in the studio is the Senior Program Coordinator for No Regrets, Alex Kelly. Welcome back, Alex. And Skyping me from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, is Krystle Shewchuk. Welcome to the show, Krystle.
Thank you.
Krystle, the video we just saw, clearly it can be painful for you to talk about your crash. Why do you tell your story to other teenagers?
It makes me feel so much better being able to go out and talk to students and other people about what happened to me and how it has affected my life and changed forever. And it's also a good way so that they know what I've gone through, and maybe they'll think when they get into a vehicle so they don't make the same mistake that I did.
And I guess you mentioned that it was difficult to talk about your story at first. Why did you decide to eventually share it with other people?
Yeah, in the beginning it was quite hard to talk about because I had to keep reliving what I've been through. But by being able to go and tell people what happened to me and how it's affected my life gives me like a great feeling. So I really enjoy just being able to tell people the things that I've been through.
Alex, we mentioned a bit when we talked to Joey about this, but I want to bring this point up again. The idea that these sorts of messages and having people like Krystle and Joey come into the school is a negative thing, and that, you know, it's just teenagers aren't going to want to hear it. How would you respond to that?
I think that our programming is unique in that we're really giving the choice to the students and emphasizing that it's their life, it's their choice, and it's not their parents or their teachers or their friends' life. And I think as a teenager, you're not given much choice. You know, you feel as though everybody else is trying to tell you what to do. So really, I don't think we're being negative. I think we're being positive and giving them the tools and the choices to make their own decisions and make them smart decisions.
Having said that, if, say, for example, Krystle or Joey or anybody, if you had a school that wanted someone to come in and speak about it, but perhaps, you know, there was just a student killed in a car crash, for example, I mean, how can you tailor the program in such a way to address maybe sort of some specific thing the students are going through at the time?
Yeah. So our presentation, it's kind of two parts. There's the live presenter like Krystle and Joey, as well as the DVD that's full of celebrities, professional athletes, and it also has another presenter telling their story on video. And we have several different versions of that, so different presenters telling different stories about how they were injured. And we have a range of presenters across the country who can also come in and speak to their different injuries. If there was a school that recently had a car crash or something like that, that's where I have a discussion with the administration and the staff to make sure that we're not coming in with too heavy of a message too soon, so that students don't feel as though they're being blamed by having this presentation come in. So
right, so they link it directly to the accident or the crash.
The crash.
That just happened a week ago.
Exactly.
Or now SmartRisk is coming in to tell me that I shouldn't have done that and it's my fault.
Yeah, and so if we can't move it and if it was that soon afterwards, what we would do is maybe select a different presenter who had a different injury or a different cause of injury, and then also cater which DVD would be shown to the events at the school.
I'm wondering, Krystle, the fact that you've been presenting your story to different schools, does it get difficult for you to tell your story over and over and over again? Can that sometimes be depressing?
For me, I don't think so. Like, I feel so good being able to go and tell my story, and by telling other people, knowing that I could have got to one of them and saved a life means quite a bit to me. But I'm always trying my best to be very positive and not to get depressed. So I find it a way of helping myself get through that by being able to go and talk to them.
And what kind of things do the kids tell you? What are they asking you when you're going to present?
I get quite a few questions. But I know the most, as soon as I'm done a presentation, I'll have many students come up to me and they'll tell me how they can relate with the things that I've been through. So I definitely know that it's getting across to them.
How has your family and your friends responded to your work, Krystle?
My family and friends are extremely supportive, and they've stuck by me since I've been in the hospital. And they also stuck by me when I go to different shows and present to people. They're definitely very supportive, and they're always telling me to stay positive and keep myself up on my feet.
How has your family helped you cope with your injury?
They stuck by my side, and they always try to remind me that there's something worse that could have happened. Like for me, like I could have been killed in that car, or I may have had a head injury. So they make me think of the positive parts, and that what happened to me really isn't that bad. It could have been worse.
I know that you plan on continuing to do more no regrets presentations. What else do you have planned for your future?
Right now I'm going to school to become a teacher. So I've been doing that right now, and then I've been going with the SmartRisk and talking to different students. But definitely trying to go to school and finish my university.
And I guess the lecturing to students, maybe that can help you with your teaching.
Yes, definitely. I think it would work quite good because it gave me a lot of experience around younger people and being able to talk with them.
I'm curious, Alex, if someone is watching this right now, there are two basic programs. We talked to the students at the beginning of the show, and now Joey and Krystle. Can you tell me if someone wants to start an organization at their school or have someone come to speak, what's the best way for them to do that?
Probably the best way, considering everybody's online now, would be to check out our website, www.smartrisknoregrets.ca. And there you can find all of the information about our peer leadership program, which is No Regrets, as well as information about booking No Regrets Live, which is a 45-minute high school presentation.
And this is right across Canada?
Yeah.
You don't have to be in Ontario?
No, it's available all across Canada. And, yeah, we're ready and willing to come out to your school and present.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for coming in today.
Thank you.
And thank you, Krystle, for your time, and good luck with your future presentations and your career as a teacher.
Yes, thank you.
Well, when we return, why so many teenagers are still drinking and driving. That's next.